So iCIMS. iCIMS is the recruiting system. So the people that use it, so recruiting uses it. That's where jobs get posted. It has a resume repository in it. You can review candidate resumes and score them. You can submit candidates to hiring managers through iCIMS, and it generates our offer letters. So recruiting, I'd say this is where they spend 60 or 70% of their day, at least. Internal operations, so Mary Padberg, Amy Lowe. iCIMS also posts all of our jobs to external job boards. That has to be actively managed because we have to decide what job recs we want to post. It costs us money every time we post them. How do we want to change keywords so they come up in searches better? Do we want to post them to social media? Do we want to pay additional money to publicize jobs? Are we going to have a third-party recruiter go in and recruit? And then we have Department of Labor standards we have to apply to all of our recruiting actions to make sure we're compliant. It tracks that for us automatically. So the internal ops team is very much just in the data structuring and external connections and those kinds of things. Hiring managers use it to post jobs, review resumes, provide feedback, and approve offers. So that depends very much on how many openings there are on a given program, but it can be a collecting point for them. Anytime anybody looks at our internal job board, that is iCIMS. If you actually pay attention when you go into our website and you go to careers at highlight, you'll notice that there's an iCIMS icon somewhere around there. So that's actually hosted out of the iCIMS system, popped into our web frame. So then you've also got job seekers. If anybody comes externally to the career page, they're using iCIMS. And something that we're working on, iCIMS has something they call talent pools, and they are basically communities of practice. So if you are an application developer or you are a project manager and you wanted to either talk about that topic, you wanted to post an article for people inside the company that are of similar skill set, also where resumes of job seekers, when they apply for jobs and they are categorized as that type of person, they would stay in that site as well, so that if we wanted to look for a project manager and we had some people that had applied for project management jobs, that's an easy place for us to go inside of that little community to look for people that had applied previously. So that's something we're getting ready to roll out. Internal employees and for job seekers as a recruiting tool, essentially. Now, why iCIMS? iCIMS is, it's an industry leader when you kind of look up the ratings and whatever, but my philosophy or observation, whatever you want to call it, on tools like this is if you want a recruiting system, you want one that's actually a recruiting system. If you want a finance system, you want one that's actually a finance system. Something that's very common in these kind of operational platforms is they will start in one sector, a finance system. Then it will say, oh, well, you know what? We could also do their learning management. We could add that on. When you do that, you aren't getting a pure, it's not what they're great at. iCIMS started as a recruiting platform. That really is all it does. Now they add some features onto it, like it will kick offer letters out, but it truly is just a recruiting package. You're not going to get more than that. So it does a lot of little things better than a lot of other systems. Little things that, just as an example, it has a feature in it that if you would like to send a text message to somebody's cell phone, you can text them about the job from the system itself. Because one of the things that happens a lot is somebody says, oh, well, text me and send me some information, and you've got a recruiter getting their personal cell phone out, even if it's a company cell phone, and typing it. That correspondence no longer exists inside of the consciousness of the company. It's now stuck on some cell phone. This brings it all back into a system so that there's some continuity, and also so that somebody says, hey, I've been talking to candidate X. Can you pick up and talk to them now? It's in this system. So it's been great. It integrates very well with everything, and has really improved the way that we recruit. There's not much we don't like about it. I would just say that there's, with almost infinite flexibility comes almost infinite complexity. There's a lot you can do in there, and it's probably at least one person's full-time job to just live in the system and make sure things are moving along the different steps, and that it's not posting jobs we don't want to have posted on some site, whatever. So there's a certain amount of administrative overhead that comes with it, but it's worthwhile, and we aren't looking at moving away from that. Next slide. So the dashboard, this is what we pull up. I have a recruiting meeting every Monday. We sit down with the team. Workload tracking. So the top box that you see, we want to know of the recruiting team who has how many jobs assigned to them. Sourcing progress. So we want to see, as far as candidate flow, are we getting candidates in for all of the jobs that we have, or are there some where we're not getting any candidates? So we can talk about why that might be. The difficulty scores. We track, and this is something that we have integrated into iCIMS. We have a point system that we use. Every job's not created the same. So if you're looking to hire a help desk person on an uncleared program, or you're looking to hire a TSSCI database professional that has to work in a place that's notoriously difficult to commute to, those are very, very different. So you might say, oh, I filled a job, but you might have filled a really hard one or not so hard. So we track the difficulty assigned to each person. So you don't have one person with 3 job recs, but they're really, really hard, and the other person has 10, but they're all easy. We have some metrics as far as average days to fill, the number of openings, the number this week, the number total. So just some awareness of what's going on. And this dashboard populates by role. So each recruiter can pull up their own dashboard and see what's assigned to them and how long it's taking them to fill jobs, so they can have some visibility there. Next slide, please. The job screen. So this is what the internal job looks like. The status, the candidates, how long it's been open. Down the left side is every action that's been taken. If anybody's gone in and interacted with it, these are the things that happen. These can be emails with candidates, an offer that was pushed out. And then you've got tabs, the job details and the contract requirements. We've put both of those in the system so that we don't accidentally hire somebody that's not meeting the requirements of a contract. There are qualification questions. So if we've got, whatever that would be, is your certification active? Have you ever used a specific tool? Whatever that might be, we can ask, and those can be customized. And then each of those little drop downs with the blue circles beside them, that's every candidate in every stage. So it will tell you how many have just come in, how many are in review, how many have been approved to onboard, and it'll flow down through, so you can see kind of the life cycle of the job all in one spot. Next screen. Then the actual job itself. This is where, when you get ready to make an offer, it's going to populate all this information. So when a program manager goes in and says, hey, look, I need this to be a full-time job. Here's the pay rate. Here's going to be the reporting chain for the person. It will add all of that information automatically into the offer letter. That's good for a couple of reasons, not just because it's quicker, but everybody makes a clerical error sometimes. And the last thing we want to do is to push a job offer to somebody, and we meant to have it be part-time, but we accidentally grabbed the wrong template and put it in a full-time offer. And now this person thinks they got offered a full-time job, and that's not what they've been talking about. Those kinds of little mistakes, this eliminates a lot of that.